Claressa Shields and Savannah Marshall will go to war in just under a month, in what is being billed as one of the biggest women's boxing fights of all time. And with the build-up well underway, Shields has fired a shot across Marshall's proverbial bow, claiming her record isn't very deep. Today, we are discussing Claressa Shields' comments surrounding her upcoming opponent, Savannah Marshall. So don't go anywhere. Let's dive straight in then. What did Shields have to say? With the only loss of her career coming in the amateurs against Marshall, Shields clearly thinks she has a point to prove. She actually believes that Marshall brings up that win far too often. But then, you're going to if you're Savannah Marshall, right? Both ladies are current world champions in various organizations, but Marshall does hold that win over Shields at the World Championships in China back in 2012, a unanimous win at that. However, Shields believes that Marshall thinks that win is bigger than it actually is, claiming she lives off of it. She said, "That's the whole storyline. She definitely talks about it a lot. That's really her whole story. If you really want to hear the real story, she went to the Olympics twice, didn't medal." It sounds like sour grapes to us, but Shields went on to discuss Marshall's various performances before turning pro, then comparing it to her own excellent record. She was quick to point out that she has gold on all 4 stages, before questioning why everyone thinks Savannah has the recipe to beat her. Well, it's because she actually beat her, right? Shields was quick to explain that Marshall is not the one, claiming that she herself is. Mind you, she has the professional record of 12-0 to back up her claims, but then so does Marshall, who has actually finished 10 of her fights via knockout. Who have you got? What else did Shields have to add then? Stay with us to find out. The Flint, Michigan native then went on to claim that Marshall's record isn't particularly good once you peel back the layers. She claims that the tough English fighter has fought a bunch of nobodies, but as the old adage goes, you can only beat what's in front of you. Shields went on to say, "That's not opinion, that's just facts. You can go on BoxRec and see it." And whilst she might come across as a little salty, some boxing enthusiasts think she might have a point. Marshall has fought numerous girls who have had just a few days' notice and has only fought twice outside her native England, whereas Shields has been fighting all over, as she puts it. Claressa did acknowledge Marshall's power, but went on to claim that she does not respect her knockouts, claiming she can feel how she wants to feel about it. She again encouraged people to go on BoxRec, the boxing statistics website, to check out and compare their records, claiming that she has fought against the better fighters. And while she may have come up against the bigger and better boxers, she should also take into account the fact that ladies boxing in America is bigger than in the UK, and there is more talent to choose from. She finished by saying, "And even though I fought against the better fighters, I still have more world titles and everything than her, because I'm better." This one is simmering nicely. Shields has been discussing her GOAT status recently. Claressa Shields firmly believes that her status as the greatest woman boxer of all time, GOAT, will give her the keys to victory when she faces off against Savannah Marshall next month. Discussing her career so far recently, Shields believes a lot has changed since the pair first met a decade ago, claiming that she has gotten better, whilst Savannah quite simply hasn't. The current WBA, WBC, IBF, WBF, and the ring middleweight champion went on to say, "That's what I take from it, the previous fight. Look at our careers. Nobody's seen the fight in 2012 except those who were there. For some reason, it was taken off the internet. Why do you hide a fight from the internet?" Shields then went on to question what an amateur fight even means, suggesting it might mean the decision went the wrong way, but failed to give any evidence of poor judging. But she did claim that it was the hardest fight Marshall has ever had. Claressa then went on to say the mysteriousness of the first fight, the fact that people can't actually see it online, is actually building up the fight, before claiming that she isn't going to post it until after she beats Marshall, so they can all see the truth. Surely, if it was some egregious robbery, then Shields would have posted it years ago, right? What do you make of Claressa's comments? Up next, Claressa has a message for you. Stay tuned. Claressa Shields has a chip on her shoulder surrounding her belief that people are doubting her. Whilst going up against Savannah Marshall for the second time in her career will almost certainly be her biggest test to date, some bookmakers are actually listing Marshall as the favorite due to her superior punching power. The pair will dance next month, and Shields has warned those doubting her that they need to apologize immediately after the fight when she gets her hand raised. She advised those who think Savannah will beat her to say, "We were wrong. You don't have to say you're the GOAT. Just say, 'We were wrong, you're the best and we respect you. And that you respect my hard work and my accomplishments because Marshall was the fluke.'" And whilst many believe Marshall comfortably beat her, Claressa described the 2012 Olympics in London as the fluke of her career. She also believes that it is her biggest win to date, claiming that since then, her career has steadily gone downhill. She described her own achievements as legitimate because she went on to win at the Olympics again, before suggesting that knocking out a whole bunch of bums proves that Marshall is a fluke. However, we're not sure how that works, to be honest. She finished by claiming that Savannah is supposed to knock girls out like that, which she did, so we don't really understand her point. Savannah has been discussing what the fight means for her next. Stay tuned. Marshall goes into the fight knowing that a win will crown her the undisputed middleweight champion of the world. world. If she does manage to get the job done, she will relieve Shields of no fewer than 5 belts, adding to her own WBO title. Speaking to Sky Sports in her native UK earlier this month, Marshall described how she is thinking about her opponent 24/7, conceding that she can't think of anything else. She went on to say, "This is a chance for me to change my life. Come September 10th, my life will never be the same again, and I only get one shot. This is why I'm training the way I am. This is why I'm preparing the way I am, and that's all I need, just one shot." Of course, it is universally accepted that Marshall is the bigger puncher, and should she manage to get the knockout, it is thought an instant rematch clause will be activated from Shields' side. But Savannah isn't thinking that far ahead, suggesting she has been waiting for this fight since turning pro, so she is only thinking about fight night. She went on to say, "I've waited for this for 5 or 6 years, and now it's here. Now it's coming and the weeks are just flying, and I wouldn't have it any other way." Savannah then suggested Shields' body language and tone in the build-up means she might be succumbing to the immense pressure of the fight. What do you guys think? And finally, some Katie Taylor news. Taylor recently mocked the easily mockable Jake Paul after he suggested a weight change for her rematch with Amanda Serrano. Paul had claimed the Irish fighter was scared, despite her beating his fighter back in April. Paul has offered Taylor $2 million if she can drop down a division to Serrano's natural weight, where she is a featherweight champion. Taylor branded the idea the most stupid thing, with Paul taking to Twitter to disrespectfully claim that Taylor was scared. The idea that Katie Taylor would put herself through hell to make featherweight borders on nonsensical, and Paul simply cannot handle the fact that a fighter from his MVP stable was beaten last time out. If Katie was to make the move to featherweight, it would certainly be interesting, but she has never gone down to that weight before. If anything, she would be more comfortable moving up a division, where she has fought at junior welterweight in the past. We're not doubting she could make featherweight, but she probably wouldn't put her titles and perfect record on the line to appease someone like Jake Paul, and rightly so. As usual, thanks for dropping by today, and remember to join us again next time when we will be discussing all sorts of other cool bits and pieces. And why not do us a solid by liking today's video, whilst also sharing it with any boxing enthusiasts you might know of. Bye guys!